Amina, gifted with the ancient magic of the forest, must embark on a dangerous journey to master her powers under the mysterious Nana's guidance. As Ekena, the dark force she once defeated, returns more powerful and determined to claim the magic for himself, Amina faces her greatest challenge yet. With the fate of the village and the balance of the world at stake, she must summon the strength of the elements to confront him in an epic battle. Will Amina's newfound power be enough to protect all she holds dear? Or will Ekena's darkness consume everything? The ultimate showdown is here. The sun began to set as Amina, Chidi, and his sister made their way back to the village. The forest had returned to its usual calm, the shadows lengthening but no longer menacing. Amina felt the weight of everything that had happened over the past days settling on her shoulders, but with it came a sense of accomplishment. She had faced Ekena and won, for now. When they reached the edge of the village, Chidi's sister, whose name was Zoba, spoke softly, her voice trembling but grateful. "Amina, you saved my life. I thought I would never see my brother again." Amina smiled warmly, placing a hand on Zoba's shoulder. "You're safe now, but we must stay vigilant. Ekena may return, and we cannot let our guard down." As they entered the village, the elders, including Baba Joro, gathered to hear the tale of what had transpired in the forest. Chidi and Zoba were reunited with their parents, who wept with relief, and Amina stood before Baba Joro, who nodded approvingly. "You have done well, child," Baba Joro said, his voice calm but firm. "But as you already know, this is only the beginning. The magic of the forest is ancient, and its power can attract those who wish to use it for darkness. Ekena is one such force, but he will not be the last." Amina nodded, her mind racing. She had defeated Ekena today, but the danger was far from over. She had been granted a gift, the ability to sense the magic in the world, to hear its whispers. It was a responsibility she now realized went beyond her own safety. The village, the forest, perhaps even the entire land, depended on it. Baba Joro continued, his voice growing more serious. "There is a reason why the magic has chosen you, Amina. You must learn to wield it, to protect it, and that will require training." Amina glanced up at the elder. "What kind of training, Baba?" The old man smiled faintly. "You must learn to harness the energy of the earth, the wind, the trees, and the water. These elements will become your allies, just as they did today. But the path ahead is difficult, and you must remain focused. You will be tested." Amina's heart quickened. "Who will teach me?" Baba Joro's expression grew thoughtful. "I cannot teach you myself, but there are others who can. Deep in the mountains, there is a woman named Nana, a keeper of the old ways. She knows the secrets of the earth better than anyone. She will teach you how to strengthen your gift." Amina nodded slowly. The journey to the mountains would be long and perilous, but she knew she had no choice. The power within her was too great to leave untamed, and Ekena's return, or the emergence of others like him, was inevitable. Before leaving for the mountains, Amina spent the next few days in Ekulo, helping the village rebuild its peace after Ekena's disruption. She spoke with Zoba, who was still recovering from her captivity, but seemed stronger every day. Chidi stayed by his sister's side, and the two siblings grew even closer through the ordeal. As the day of her departure arrived, Amina stood at the edge of the village, her belongings packed tightly into a small cloth bundle. Chidi approached her, his expression serious. "You're really going, aren't you?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. Amina smiled, but there was sadness in her eyes. "I have to, Chidi. Baba Joro says I need to learn more about my gift. I can't protect the village or the forest if I don't." Chidi looked down at his feet, then back at Amina. "Will you come back?" Amina's heart warmed at the question. "Of course, I'll come back. I will always be part of this village, no matter where I go." Chidi nodded, his eyes filled with determination. "Then I'll wait for you." With a final glance at the familiar faces of her village, Amina turned and began her journey to the mountains. The path was long and winding, but she moved with purpose, her thoughts focused on what lay ahead. The landscape changed as she walked, the rolling hills giving way to steep cliffs and rocky terrain. The air grew cooler, and the wind howled more fiercely as she climbed higher. Amina found solace in the sounds of nature, the rustling leaves, the bird song, the creaking of old trees. She knew the forest was with her, guiding her toward her destiny. After several days of travel, Amina finally reached the base of the mountains. There, nestled between towering peaks, was a small hut, surrounded by a garden of strange, glowing flowers. As she approached, a figure emerged from the shadows, a tall woman with dark skin and silver hair, her eyes sharp and full of wisdom. "You must be Amina," the woman said, her voice deep and melodic. "I am Nana. I have been expecting you." Amina bowed respectfully. "Baba Joro sent me. He said you could help me understand my gift." Nana smiled, though it was a smile tinged with mystery. "Your gift is powerful, child, but power without control is dangerous. Come, we have much work to do." Over the next weeks, Amina trained under Nana's watchful eye. She learned to listen to the earth beneath her feet, to feel the energy of the trees, and to call upon the wind and water for strength. Nana taught her the ancient language of the elements, a tongue that only the most gifted could speak. It was a slow, difficult process, but Amina grew stronger with each passing day. One night, after an intense session of training, Amina sat outside the hut, staring up at the stars. Nana joined her, sitting quietly for a moment before speaking. "The balance of the world is fragile, Amina," she said softly. "There are forces that seek to disrupt that balance. Ikena was just one of them. Others will come, and they will be stronger, more cunning." Amina nodded, her heart heavy with the weight of her responsibility. "I will protect the forest and the village, no matter what." Nana placed a hand on Amina's shoulder. "You will, but you must also protect yourself, for if you fall, the balance will be lost." As the days passed, Amina mastered the ways of the elements. She learned how to bend the wind to her will, to coax the trees into revealing their secrets, and to harness the power of water and fire. She felt more connected to the world than ever before. Her senses heightened, her spirit strengthened. But one day, while meditating by a nearby river, Amina felt a dark presence approaching. Her heart raced, and she opened her eyes to see a figure standing across the river, a figure cloaked in shadows. It was Ikena. "I see you have grown stronger, Amina," he said, his voice dripping with malice. "But so have I." Amina stood, her fists clenched, her heart filled with determination. "You will not take what is not yours, Ikena. The forest and its magic belong to those who protect it." Ikena laughed, a cold, bitter sound. "We shall see, little one, we shall see." The final battle was upon her, and Amina knew that this time there would be no running. She had to face Ikena, not just for herself, but for the village, the forest, and the balance of the world. She drew upon the power of the elements, feeling the wind swirl around her, the earth steady beneath her feet, the water rushing through her veins. With a deep breath, she prepared for the fight of her life. Ikena struck first, unleashing a torrent of dark energy that crackled like lightning. Amina countered with a wave of wind, deflecting the attack and sending Ikena stumbling back. He snarled, his eyes glowing with rage. "You cannot win," he shouted, summoning a wall of fire. But Amina was ready. She called upon the water from the river, dousing the flames and striking Ikena with a surge of energy. The battle raged on, each strike more powerful than the last, until finally, Amina saw an opening. With a cry of determination, she unleashed all the power within her, a blast of elemental energy that enveloped Ikena. He screamed in pain as the magic consumed him, his form dissolving into the wind. And then there was silence. Amina stood, panting, her heart racing. She had done it. Ikena was gone. Nana appeared beside her, a look of pride on her face. "You have done well, Amina," she said softly. "The balance has been restored." Amina smiled, though she knew the journey was far from over. There would always be threats to the balance, always those who sought to disrupt the harmony of the world. But now she was ready. With her newfound strength and the support of the forest, Amina returned to her village, where she was welcomed as a hero. She knew that she would continue to protect her people, the forest, and the magic that flowed through it. And as she stood at the edge of the village, watching the sunset over the hills, she felt at peace. The journey had only just begun, but Amina knew that, no matter what came next, she was ready. The magic was in her hands, and the world was hers to protect.